Hello students, I am Akshay Deshpande and welcome to CET Sankalp. Today we will go with completely again a new chapter and also the last chapter of the plant physiology, that is plant growth and development. Now in this chapter we will be mainly focusing on some of the aspects of plant development and also the plant growth. So how does the plant growth actually occurs, and we will also look into the developmental aspects in the case of plant. Of course, we don't study embryology and all, but however, we will mainly focus on some of the important plant hormones, their function, and how they were discovered. And also in this chapter, we will look into some of the aspects of growth. That is mainly whether the growth is measurable or not, and also there are some phases of growth, how the growth rates are actually observed in the case of plant. So these are some of the important aspects that we will study in this chapter. So altogether, from your CET and a NEET perspective, from the CET perspective, we can say that you will expect at least one question for your CET, that what we have observed the trend. And also again in the case of NEET, you will expect around at least 1 to 2 questions in your NEET examination, right? So in the case of NEET examination, at least you will see around 1 or 2 questions in your examinations, right? And generally, major of the times, the questions that are focused from this chapter are mainly the hormones, plant hormones, right? So generally, the questions are mainly focused with the plant hormones, especially their functions. Okay, so we can say that with respect to the level of difficulty, we can say, as the questions are more direct, we can say slightly easy. Okay, yeah. So this is what the trend I have observed in your NEET examination and also the CET examination. At least one question, or if there may be one question or there not be one question, right? This is how we can divide the question observed in the case of CET and also NEET examination. So let's start with our class over here. So here is a diagram that you're looking that mainly shows about the plant growth, right? So here the whole image, it mainly shows about the plant growth stages, right? See, the first is mainly the seed that has actually broken down into a seedling. Okay, ಬೀಜ ಹೊಡೆದು ಮೊಳಕೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಸಿ ಹುಟ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, and you have seen that here this term is called as the hypocotyl, right? Yes, cotyledon ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬರುವಂತ ಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, that part is called as the hypocotyl, and you can see that it after few days it actually emerges out of the soil, and later it gives rise to the part called as the epicotyl hook, from which the next part, that is the seed coat, breaks and your leaves actually are observed. Okay, the first 2 cotyledons, right? So the example what we're looking over here is the dicot. Idu mainly dicot of the plant development now nodta irodilli, hauda? So now later what happens as the growth develops, you see that there is a completely a shoot part, and so this part is the main which is responsible for the growth of the plant above the soil. Okay, ide important, mainly ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ plant. Okay, and next we are having the root part which goes on growing into the soil, and also spreads in the soil as much as possible to absorb the in the search of nutrients and also water, right? So this is how the different phases of the plant development you are looking in a simple diagram, right? And all this we can say that it is actually the growth only. It's a part of growth, and we have to remember that growth is not just affected by simply abiotic factors such as light, temperature, availability of air and all, soil quality. At the same time, even the intrinsic factors, that is mainly about the plant genetics, the ability to overcome the seed dormancy and so on. These are some of the important internal factors, even they also matter, right? So with respect to growth, we can say that it is an irreversible change in the increase in the size of an organ or tissue or parts of the body or even individual cell. Okay, so we can say that irreversible change ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, for example, if this is one stage, the part of that particular plant, if it reaches to the another stage, ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ from A to B pointed out, from A to B ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು, ಬಟ್ B to ವಾಪಸ್ A ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. This is called as an irreversible change ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, right? So it is always unidirectional development ಇರ್ತದೆ. Okay, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ಗೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. Okay, it is always unidirectional. So hence it is called as the irreversible change in the increase in size of an organ. Okay, it means size of an organ antandre body ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ organ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. Okay, or it may be part of the plant body also, or even we can say it is just increase in the number of individual cell also. Increase in the individual number of a cell also, right? This is called as growth. Now, during the growth, we see that there is a accompany of a metabolic process. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ನಮಗೆ. Along with that, we also observe, we also see that there is metabolic process also occurring inside the organism. Okay, in this case, it is a plant. Hence, we just say the term plant ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, organism ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಮೆಟಬಾಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಥರದ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ? ವಿ ನೋ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ catabolic, or even it can be referred as the anabolic. Okay, catabolic processor ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, anabolic process ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. So the sum of the catabolism and anabolic reactions, we call it as the metabolism ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. Generally, the simple definition for this, right? And also there is all this process, metabolic process ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, growth ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, all these processes are actually occurring at the energy expenditure. Okay, ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತ ATP is being used for this, ATP, right? So at the expense of energy ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಓಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಮೆಟಬಾಲಿಕ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಕರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ at the expense of energy. Energy is being expended, energy is being spent inside the organism's body, right? And we all know the general molecule that is used for the energy in the form of cellular currency is your ATP molecule, right? So now, in the case of plant, we say that the plant growth is actually indeterminate. Okay, we call it as indeterminate. Okay, indeterminate. Now, what do we mean by the term indeterminate? Because plants have a very unique capacity, or they exhibit a very unique property. Okay, plant the growth indeterminate anta yakide anta helತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there is an important specific property that is limited to only the plants, that they have the ability, or they retain the capacity to divide throughout their life. Okay, ತಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ಜೀವನ ಪರ್ಯಂತ ಅಥವಾ ಜೀವನಾವಧಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ಎಟ್ ದಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್. ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್. ಆಸ್ ಎ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ even at the end of their life, right? So the plants retain the capacity to divide throughout their life, right? And ಈ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಯಾಕಿದೆ ಥ್ರೂಔಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಫ್? ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವೇರ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಥ್ರೂಔಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಬೈ ದ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ಜೀವನಾವಧಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ, ನ್ಯೂ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಈ ನ್ಯೂ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ, ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಇಂದ, ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿಯಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರದ ಗ್ರೋತಿಗೆ, ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ರೈಟ್? ನೌ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮೇನ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಶೂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೂಟ್ ಎಪಿಕಲ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ವಿ ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಶೂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಪಿಕಲ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್? ಶೂಟ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಇದು ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಶೂಟ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅಬೋವ್ ಬೆಳಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ನ, ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂಗಳನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಶೂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಇನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಶೂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್, ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಬ್ರಾಂಚ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದೇ ನಮಗೆ ರೂಟ್ ಎಪಿಕಲ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ರೂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂಟ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಶೂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌವ್ ದ ಸಾಯಿಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ this shoot and root apical meristums are very much important. As a result, we can see that the plant can grow continuously throughout its lifetime. Okay, now at the same time you also see that there are other type of meristem, for example lateral meristems and vascular cambium and also the cork cambium antanteve. So now these tissues are also important because they are mainly involved in providing girth to the plant body. Girth anta karitivi. Girth antandre ಅಗಲಾಗೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈಡ್ ವೇಸ್, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇನ್ side ways. Okay, so if you consider this is a stem of the plant, okay, this and this is done by the root and shoot apical meristem, but growth in the diameter, okay, ಸೈಡ್ ವೇಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಗರ್ತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಗರ್ತ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಟ್ರಲ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ವ್ಯಾಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ cambiums and also the cork cambiums. And generally the growth that is mainly occurring because of increase in the girth is also called as the secondary growth. It is called as secondary growth, right? Yeah, so this is mainly what we call the plant growth is indeterminate. And also we can measure the growth. Interestingly, we can measure the growth. So now what is growth at cell level? ಒಂದು ಜೀವಕೋಶದ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್. Okay, now growth can be measured by certain parameters. Okay, now what are those parameters? That is increase in the fresh weight, dry weight, and length, cell area, and also cell number, and also the volume anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, see the problem is we cannot estimate, we cannot measure the volume of protoplasm that is being increased. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, we are using other parameters. Okay, and these parameters are mainly the increase in the fresh weight, okay, new tissue that is being added, dry weight ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ನೀರಿನ ಅಂಶ ನಾವು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ತೆಗಿತೀವಲ್ಲ, that afterwards what remains in the plant body is called as dry weight, right? Length ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದು ಬೆಳೀತು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಲೆಂತ್. ಏರಿಯಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಲೀಫ್, ಓಕೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಲೀಫು ಏರಿಯಾ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಸೆಲ್ ನಂಬರ್, ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಸೆಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್, ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ವಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೆಜರ್ ದಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ or total contents inside the cell, right? So now we can look into interesting numbers over here, right? For example, in the case of maize root apical meristem, if you look into the maize root apical meristem, it has the capacity to add around 17,500 new cells per hour. ಒಂದು ತಾಸಿಗೆ 17,500 cells ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂತ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ರೂಟ್ ಎಪಿಕಲ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮೆಲನ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ the volume of the watermelon cells, the cells inside the watermelon can increase into volume about 350,000 times. Okay, watermelon fruit ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಟ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 3,50,000 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ಮೆಲನ್. Okay, now similarly in the case of pollen tube, we can see that the length can be, the growth can be measured in the form of increase in the length. Okay, we can actually determine the growth in the pollen tube by looking into the increase in the length of the pollen germinated tube, right? Now similarly in the case of a leaf, we see that there is an increase in the surface area. ಒಂದು ಲೀಫ್ ಸಣ್ಣದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆದು, ಬಟ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಲೀಫ್ದು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಗಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ಓಕೆ, that is also actually called as growth only, right? So this is how we can actually measure the growth in the case of plants. Now we shall look into the phases of growth. What do we mean by phases of growth? During the growth there is a characteristic nature, okay, there is a characteristic nature what we call. ಅಂದರೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸೆಲ್ಲು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ 3 ಫೇಸ್ ಇಂದ ದಾಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಜನರಲಿ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟೆಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಾಂಗೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಚುರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವೆರಿ ವೆಲ್ ಸೀನ್. ಈ ಥರದ ಫೇಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್. ಪ್ಲಾಂಟಿನ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಈ 3 ಫೇಸಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. Okay, we can observe these all 3 phases quite distinctively. It is not I'm not saying that we cannot see it in other cases, but can be seen more clearly and distinctively in the case of plant roots. Okay, so at the tip, at the apex, you generally see that there is the zone of meristematic growth anta karitivi, the meristematic phases of growth anta karitivi. Okay, generally this part of the root, that is the tip or apex anta karitivi. Okay, you see that the cells undergo constant division. Okay, cells they exhibit a high rate of division ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. Constantly, continuously they have the ability to divide. Okay, and on the other hand they also have a very thin cell wall ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಹಳ cell wall ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ತೆಳ್ಳಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, thin cell wall ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the cell wall nature is mainly primary. Remember, ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತದೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ವಾಲ್ ತೆಳ್ಳಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈ. ಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಾಟ್? ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈ. ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೈ ಕಡೆ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರ್ತದೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಪಿಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅಡ್ಜಸೆಂಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಲು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೋಡೆಸ್ಮೆಟಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಝೋನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟೆಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಅಬಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೋಡೆಸ್ಮೆಟಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್? abundant plasmodesmatal connections. So now if you ask the question why, ಎದಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಎರಡು ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so that there can be exchange of nutrients between the neighboring cells easily. Okay, so from cell A to cell B, from cell A to cell B, there can be movement of nutrients from here to here through the plasmodesmata. Okay, so plasmodesmata ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಮಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ A ದು ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ B ಸೈಟೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Right, so this is an abundant presence of plasmodesmatal connections is a characteristic of the meristematic growth phase. Right, so now as I said, if you look into the let us draw this. Okay, so now this part is generally what we call as the root tip anta karitivi, and illi meristematic growth phase irtade namge, the meristematic growth phase. Right, yes. The next one we are having is the phase of elongation anta karitivi. So the zone that comes immediately next to the meristematic growth phase or growth zone is called as the zone of elongation or elongation phase anta karitivi. Right, so now here there is increased cell vacuolation anta karitivi. The properties of the cells which are mainly present in this area, in this zone of the root, you see that inside the cell, what happens? Earlier the vacuole will be very small, right? But however later what happens? You see that in this cell the vacuolation is increased. Okay, the volume of the vacuole also increased, hence what we call as the increased cell vacuolation anta idakke refer martivi. And also there is increased cell enlargement. The cell also increases in its size. Okay, now size nalli increase aagta ide antandre, okay, size increased. Okay, size increased or enlargement. Okay, this enlargement in the size is mainly because of turgidity. Right, we know what is turgidity. Okay, turgidity is mainly because of entry of water inside the plant cell. As a result, what happens? This water pushes the protoplasm against the cell wall. This is called as the ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಲ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನ, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ರೈಟ್, ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ cell enlargement and also new cell wall deposition. You also see that there is new cell wall deposition anta karitivi, right? And this new cell wall in deposition is generally what we call as the secondary cell wall anta heltivi now. Secondary cell wall, it is generally what? Secondary cell wall. Remember this. Now, the next one we are having is the after the elongation phase or the zone of elongation, we get the zone of maturation. Okay, so generally here will be your zone of elongation, and from here, what we can say, from this part and above, it is the zone of maturation. Okay, zone of maturation. Here the cells will attain a maximum in size. Okay, cells ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅಗದಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸೈಜ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And also you see that the cell wall becomes more thick. Okay, the cell wall also becomes what? More thick, and also you find protoplasmic modifications. cells ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು protoplasmic modifications ಕೂಡ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. Right? So these are some of the important points that you people have to remember about the phases of growth. It is a meristematic phase. Next one we are having is the zone of elongation, and finally we are having is the zone of maturation. Okay, so ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು they will ask you about the important aspects about the characteristics of the cells that are mainly present in these zones. ಈ zones ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ cells ದು important properties ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, and you have to remember them, right? So this is mainly about the phases of growth. Now moving on, we can look into the growth rates. Okay, we can look into what? Growth rates. Now again, this is a quite an important concept because you will study this as a part of mathematics. Okay, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ basic mathematics ಬರ್ತದೆ. Okay, basic addition and what we can say division, multiplication, you have to remember for this. And ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಇನ್ನೂ ತನಕ there have been no questions on the plant growth rates, but simple plant growth rates mathematical questions ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. There are some good chances that you can expect these questions over here. Now, so what is the plant growth rate? So growth rate mainly refers to the increase in the growth per unit time. Okay, we can say that growth rate is increase in growth per unit time. Okay, increase in the growth per unit time is called as growth rate. Okay, at a given moment of time ಎಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ರೇಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ರೇಟ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಯು ಸಿ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. Okay, growth pattern. The first one here is the arithmetic growth pattern, and one more is the geometric growth pattern. Okay, so now here if you look into the diagram, the diagram tells you something important. Okay, so here in the case of diagram there are two cells, ಇದೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂಡ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಬಂತು, ಹೌದಾ? ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ more cells being added over here, ಹೌದಾ? But look into the arrow mark over here. Okay, andre the new cells are actually being added from the dark blue part only, but not from the light blue part. Okay, so what does this dark blue and the light blue part indicates? It indicates that the light blue part is having the or retaining the capacity to divide, has the capacity to divide. Okay, yes, but however the daughter cell, this is called as what? Daughter cell. Okay, daughter cell loses the capacity to divide. Right? Yes. So ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ನಾವು ಗ್ರೋತಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಗೆ, ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, arithmetic growth anta kariತೀವಿ. It is called as what? Arithmetic growth, where the only certain set of cells retain the capacity to divide, but however the daughter cells lose the capacity to divide and they mature and differentiate into respective functioning cells. Okay, respective functioning cells. This is called as arithmetic growth anta karitivi. Hauda? Now, whereas on the other hand, we are having one more kind of growth called as the geometric growth. So illi same diagram ide namge, ಆದರೆ you can clearly see that none of the cells are losing the capacity to divide. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಡಾಟರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಡಾಟರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, the daughter cells are not losing the capacity to divide. Even they also retain the capacity to divide to give more rise to more number of cells. And similarly, these cells, the daughter cells, are also retaining the capacity to divide. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗೋ ಅಂತ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ have or retain the capacity of cell division. Okay, so all the cells, even the daughter cells, also retain the capacity to undergo the cell division, right? So this kind of growth is called as a geometric growth. It is called as what? Geometric growth, right? So if you look into what we can say, root elongating, if you look into the examples, okay, generally in the case of arithmetic growth, you see that root elongation. Root elongation mainly shows this particular part. Okay, mainly shows this particular part. But however, the meristematic cells, okay, the meristematic cells, they have the ability to, even the daughter cells of the meristematic cells, before undergoing differentiation, they also retain the capacity to undergo again cell division, right? So they exhibit the, what we can say, geometric growth over there. Now, we can look into another diagram over here, what they have given. So initially we have got a zygote. Okay, here this one we are having is a zygote, and the zygote divides into 2 cells and into 4 cells, and finally initial stage of the, what we can say, initial stage of the division of zygote is under the geometric phase. Okay, initial phase ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತದೆ ನಮಗೆ geometric phase ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ cell division growth. Later, as the cell division goes on, you can see over here, okay, as you can see over here, only the central cells remain the capacity, the tip of the shoot or tip of the root. Okay, only this particular part retains the ability to what? Undergo the cell division. Okay, so ಈ part ಇಂದ ಏನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮಗೆ cells ಇತ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, this part you are getting over here, they slowly differentiate and lose the ability to divide, capacity to divide. Okay, so that is what the diagram tells us about here. Refer this diagram. Okay, I will erase this once again. You can look over here that the blue part, this part, blue part, only these cells are having the capacity of cell division. Okay, but whereas these the light blue part over here, which are actually the daughter cells, of the dark blue, what you are looking over, they lose the capacity to divide. They slowly start to lose the capacity to divide over here, right? So we can say that generally at the center of the what we can say, generally the tip most, the apex part of the shoot and root, they constantly retain the ability to undergo the cell division. They can add a new and more number of cells, but however the daughter cells, they lose the ability to divide, right? So this is a simple diagram that tells us. Now if we actually plot the growth of the plant, in this case it is the height of the plant and the time. Okay, the x-axis is actually what? Time. Okay, you actually get a linear graph. Okay, you get a linear graphs, and this is generally observed in the case of growth of root. Okay, root growth. ನೀವು ರೂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, okay, you get a linear graph ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. And the equation what you're looking over here is the LT is equal to L0 plus RT ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Okay, this is an equation for the arithmetic growth. Okay, it is for what? Arithmetic growth ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, remember the equation. You may expect a few simple question, mathematical question on this part. Okay, till now there has been no question asked, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to expect the questions in your examination this time. Okay, so generally ನಿಮಗೆ questions ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, simple mathematics ಇರ್ತದೆ. You have to substitute the values in those equation and calculate it. Okay, you don't even need a calculator for that. Now let us look into the terms what this equation tells us. Okay, so LT mainly stands for length of that particular organ or tissue at a given time. Andre after some period of time ಎಷ್ಟು growth ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, okay, that is what we can say the length of that particular organ at one particular time in the future. Now L0 is the length of the organ or length of any tissue at the time 0 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Time 0 ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು? Initial, what we can say, initial growth. Okay, and finally R mainly stands for the growth rate, or also called as the elongation per unit time. Growth rate, or also called as the elongation per unit time. Right? So these are the this is the equation for mainly your arithmetic growth. But however, we are having another graph for your geometric growth. Okay, so this is mainly for your geometric growth. Okay, yes. So now out of these two models, arithmetic and also your geometric, okay, generally you see that geometric is more realistic because it can be applied for an organism that is growing in the natural environment. Okay, so arithmetic growth ಮತ್ತು geometric growth ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ವು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಗದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು, more applicable for the organs or organisms growing in a natural environment. Geometric growth is more true ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Okay, geometric growth is more appropriate to explain that is any organism growing in an or any organ that is growing in a natural environment ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? So if you look into this particular graph over here, again the size or weight of an organ and the x-axis we are having is the time over here, right? So now if you look into the graph over here, this graph is a sigmoid anta karitivi. Okay, it is called as what? Sigmoid or S shape graph anta ನಾವು ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. Okay, it is called as S shape graph anta ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And generally it is distinguished into three important phases. The first is called as the preparatory phase, which is called as the lag phase ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. And after there is an log phase or what we can say exponential phase ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, there is a rapid increase in the growth ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Exponential ಇರ್ತದೆ growth. Later after the nutrients become limiting, the growth starts to cease. ನಿಲ್ಲಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತದೆ growth. Okay, and that part what you are looking over is the stationary phase anta karitivi. It is called as what? Stationary phase. And here we are having the equation for the geometric growth over here, that is W1 is equal to the W0 e raised to RT anta karitivi. E antandre you can see it is the base of the natural logarithms, log base 10 value ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, T mainly stands for the time of the growth and R mainly stands for the growth rate anta karitivi. W0 means mainly the initial size at the beginning of the period, and the W1 mainly tells us about that is the final size. Okay, so here the R is a very important term over here because it mainly tells us it is the relative growth anta karitivi. The growth rate over here is mainly the relative growth. Okay, and it is actually a measure that is used to check that ability. It is a measure to determine the ability that a plant can add more tissue. Okay, it is mainly the ability of the plant to produce a new plant material, new plant tissue na add ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ, form ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನಿದೆ ability ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, that is called as efficiency index anta karitive. Okay, the ability to that the plant has to can add more tissue is called as the efficiency index. Okay, index, the ability of the plant to add more tissue or new tissue. Okay, and this ability that the plant can add more tissue is called as a efficiency index, which is the measure of the relative growth rate. Okay, this efficiency index is the measure of the growth rate, relative growth rate. Okay, so hence the final size of any part of the plant depends upon the what we can say initial size, that is W0. Okay, the W1 depends on W0, depends on the W0. So this mainly covers the idea of what we can say growth rates. The next one we are having is the conditions for the growth. Okay, so before we look into the conditions of the growth, we can look into the growth comparison. Okay, we can actually compare the growth rates, right? So here we are having is the absolute growth rate, and one more we are having is the relative growth rate. Okay, so the definition over here is the absolute growth rate is the measurement and comparison of total growth per unit time. Okay, total growth it is we are mainly referring to the total growth. Okay, from for example, if the growth if the what we can say growth was around 5 centimeter. Okay, initially. Okay, initially the growth was 5 centimeter, and after 7 days it became 20 centimeter. Okay, so after 7 days this is the final growth, what we call. Okay, final growth, right? So now if you deduct 20 from 5, you will get 15 as your answer. So this is called as the absolute growth rate. It is called as what? Absolute growth rate. But however, relative growth rate mainly tells us about the growth per unit time. Okay, at a given time, at a given moment of time. Okay, in the 7 days, ಈ 7 ದಿವಸದಾಗ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ಟು 7 ಡೇ ನಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ಏನಿತ್ತು, ನಮಗೆ 5 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು 20 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ 7 ಡೇಸ್ನಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 5 to 20 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಓಕೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ನೋ ಈಚ್ ಡೇ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಗ್ರೋತು, ಈಚ್ ಡೇ at every day what was the growth rate, if we want to check this, then we use the idea called as the relative growth anta karitivi. That is easy. You have to divide 5 by 15 by 5, you will get an answer. Okay, 5 1 ja 5 3 ja. Okay, so 3 centimeter was the relative growth. Every day 3 centimeter or something was added. That is what we can say over here. Okay, so this is mainly about the growth comparison. Now, we can look into the conditions for the plant growth. Now, what do we mean by conditions for the growth? It means the natural conditions, that is the abiotic factors, and also biotic factors. Biotic factors are basically the plant internal factors, maybe the hormones, or maybe the plant health, in what good health it is, right? So now, the most important we are having is the water, because water takes place in the, it's a part of metabolic reactions. It is a part of metabolic reactions, and also the medium for these reactions. It is acting as a medium for all of these reactions, right? Hence, water plays a very, very, very important role, right? And also, we can say that light is also an important abiotic factor, because if there is no light, no growth, right? No growth. ಲೈಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬೆಳಕು ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಫೋಟೋಸಿಂಥಸಿಸ್, ನೋ ಫುಡ್, ನೋ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. Next one we are having is the gravity. Even gravity is also important, because the plant has special group of cells that can what we can say check the gravity. Okay, gravity na sense ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ it is mainly important for the plant to grow in this environment. Okay, see, have you ever wondered, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತ ಭಾಗ, ಶೂಟ್ ಭಾಗ, that is shoot part of the plant, they have to grow against the gravitational force, right? This is really interesting. Similarly, the plant part, that is the root that is growing inside the soil, it's not having any what we can say difficulty, because it's inside the soil, and there also what we can say, gravity is playing an important role. Okay, so gravity is a very important abiotic factor. And similarly, oxygen is important for the respiration, as we all know, right? Last chapter ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತೀವಿ ಹೌದಾ. ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟಬಾಲಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. Metabolic energy, right? This is also an important factor. Lastly, we are having temperature, right? Even temperature plays a very important role over here, right? If the temperature is more than the optimum, ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬಾಡಿಯಿಂದ. ಓಕೆ, and enzymes that are mainly playing an important role in the reactions and all, they become inactivated. So these are not what we can say definitely what we can say if they become excess or what we can say less in condition, less in requirement, then surely it becomes impeding or impedes the growth of the plant. ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Now we can look into another important concept in the chapter, that is the differentiation, de-differentiation and redifferentiation anta bartade hauda. So here we are having simple some 3 definitions that we have to remember, and also we are having some examples for that. Okay, so the first one is very simple. For example, A ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it differentiates into B cell. B cell is a specialized cell. It is what? A specialized cell ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. What do you mean by specialized cell? Specialized cell ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is involved in some kind of function. Okay, parenchyma cell ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. parenchyma cell ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಹೌದಾ. ಸಮ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎ ಸೆಲ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್. Okay, yes, A cell is what? Less specialized. It can give rise to a B cell or it can give rise to C cell. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. This may be another cell. For example, palisade ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. It may give rise to what? We can say one more cell called as the D cell ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. This may be a mesophyll cell. Okay, mesophyll cell ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ ಹೌದಾ. So this cell, A cell, it is being converted into another kind of cell. Okay, how it gets converted, don't worry about it. It is a higher level biology. Okay, ಅಲ್ಲಿ A cell ಇದು C cell ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, B cell ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, worry ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡ್ರಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. That is a higher level biology you will study if you take MBBS and all, you will study about this property. Okay, this is called as totipotency anta karitivi. Okay, not required the discussion for here. Okay, so this the property of A cell which is differentiating or undergoing some process to give rise to the C cell or B cell or D cell is called as what? Differentiation. Okay, so you'll note the ability or the cells from the meristems gives rise to specific cells. Okay, the cells from meristem gives rise to specific cells. Okay, so we can say the meristematic tissue or meristematic cells are less specialized cells. They are highly flexible. ಆ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಂದ ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಹುಟ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಸ್ಟೆಮ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಂದ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಾಡಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲೋ ಆ ತರ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಹೌದಾ. So from A cell we are getting a C cell or B cell or a D cell. Okay, so this is called as what we can say differentiation anta karitivi. But now however there are some cells which become less specialized and return to their earlier state. Okay, andre ಈ D cell mesophyll cell ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಹೌದಾ. It is a mesophyll cell, ಇದು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್. mesophyll cell ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು, ಆ mesophyll cell ಕೆಲಸನೇ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಹೌದಾ. sometimes ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಫಿಸಿಯಾಲಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ಡಿ ಸೆಲ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಎ ಸೆಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಲೆಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್, ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. And now this is called as your de-differentiation. It is called as what? De-differentiation. Okay, example for this is meristems and interfascicular cambium and cork cambium sometimes are formed mainly from the fully differentiated parenchyma cells. ಪ್ಯಾರಂಕೈಮಾ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದನೇ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಏನು ಬರಬಹುದು, ಕಾರ್ಕ್ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಂ ಅಥವಾ ವ್ಯಾಸ್ಕುಲರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫೆಸಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಂ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಜನರಲ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಂ ಇಂದ ನಮಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿ ಮೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಂಕೈಮಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಆದರೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಂಕೈಮಾ ಇಂದನೇ ವಾಪಸ್ ನಮಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೇಂಬಿಯಂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಕೇಂಬಿಯಂ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಲೆಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾ. ಸೊ ನಾವು this is mainly called as the de-differentiation ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. The last one we are having is the redifferentiation. ನಾವು redifferentiation ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ಲು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ತನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, it can undergo again a differentiation to give rise to another cell. Okay, this is called as the redifferentiation. Okay, the cells that have lost their temporarily temporarily lose their identity differentiate again into specialized cells. Okay, so ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿ-ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಸೆಲ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರಿಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಷನ್. Right? So this is mainly about the concept of differentiation, de-differentiation, and we are also having one more concept called as the redifferentiation. So you have to remember all these concepts, quite important. Differentiation is mainly giving rise to specialized cells from less specialized cells. It is called as differentiation. Okay, the specialized cells can lose their identity, they become less flexible. Okay, and this is called as a de-differentiation. Okay, specialized cells ಇಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಲೆಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, that is called as de-differentiation. Okay, and ಇದು de-differentiated cells ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, this is called as redifferentiation. So yeah, the terms are quite confusing, but if you put some enough effort you will remember this. Okay, so ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. Now we can look into the development of the plant. Okay, here we are having a very simple flow chart that you have to remember. Okay, so from this flow chart only they may ask you a diagram based question over. Okay, so the first one we are having is the cell division ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ plant development ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ cell is the most flexible cell. From this ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ cell only ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರದ plant body cells formation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್, ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಾ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೇಟರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ರೀಚಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು, ಇಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ರೈಸ್ ಟು ಮೋರ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಗಿವ್ ರೈಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊಸ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ರೈಟ್? ಎಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ achieving the plasmatic growth, some meristematic cells undergo differentiation. Okay, ಈ differentiation ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. And similarly we are also having during differentiation expansion ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಲ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲಾಂಗೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಮೆಚ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆಲ್ ಮೆಚ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು, ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್, ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು, ಥಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ as your maturation process ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಲಾಂಗೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೆಚುರೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಷನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಚುರೇಷನ್, ನಮಗೆ ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ತನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಸೆನೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಏಜಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಫೈನಲಿ ಡೆತ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆಕರ್ಸ್. Right? So remember, meristematic cells constantly they can give rise to their own new population of meristematic cells. From that small subset of cells, ಆ total population ಆಗಿರುವಂತ meristematic cells ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸೆಲ್ಸ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆರಿಸ್ಟಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾನ್ಷನ್, ಮೆಚುರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ mature cell, and mature cell after doing its all function, finally what we can say, it undergoes senescence and finally death anta heltivi. Right? So this is mainly about the development. Now here we are having one another concept, that is a plasticity antantevi. Plasticity. Okay, now we are having one more concept called as the plasticity. Now plasticity is the ability of the plant cell to produce different traits under different environmental conditions. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರಹದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ನ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತೀವಿ, ಅಬಿಲಿಟಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕಾಟನ್, ಕೊರಿಯಾಂಡರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಲಕ್ಸ್ಪುರ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ದ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ತ್ರೀ ಎಕ್ಸಿಬಿಟ್ ದಿ ಹೆಟ್ರೋಫೈಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೀಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಹೆಟ್ರೋಫೈಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ in the case of juveniles and adults, the leaf structures completely differ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಎ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಡಲ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ದಿ ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ಪುರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಜುವನೈಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಲೀಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಲೀಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ನಾವು ಬಟರ್ ಕಪ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಟರ್ ಕಪ್, the leaves that are produced in the air and that are produced in the case of water. Okay, terrestrial habitat ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು, ನಮಗೆ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತ ಎಲೆಗಳು ಯಾವ್ದು ಬಟರ್ ಕಪ್ದು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೆರೆಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಲದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳೆದಾಗ, ಏರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಲೀಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್? ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ, right? So plasticity is the ability or production of different kind of characters when exposed to different kind of environmental conditions. ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಭಾಗ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ನು, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತೂ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, ಬೇರೆ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಅಬಿಲಿಟಿ is called as the plasticity. So this is mainly about all our discussion about the plant growth. So now what we can do is we can look into some important questions over here. The first question is, different kind of pathway in response to environmental to form a different kind of structure is called as pleiotropy, plasticity, growth rate, growth and also maturation phase. We all know, ಈಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಏನದು, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now the next one, the cells derive the root from the cells derive the root and apical meristems represents, okay, an example for dedifferentiation, differentiation, all of the above. Okay, so the cells that are derived from the root and apical meristem, ಅಂದ್ರೆ apical ಮತ್ತು root meristem ಇಂದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಷನ್. The next one, which of the following statement is true about the trachary elements during a differentiation? Okay, the cell wall are lignified cellulosic. There is regaining of protoplasm. Structural changes are observed for hormonal translocation, and they are non-elastic. Okay, so if you look into the process of what we can say differentiation, the trachary elements would lose their protoplasm. Okay, and they are generally elastic in nature, and their cell walls are actually lignified cellulosic. Okay, and we all know that trachary elements are mainly involved in transportation of water, not hormone, right? So based on that, we can say that A is only the true about the statement. Remaining all are actually false. Okay, there is a losing of protoplasm, never regaining of protoplasm. Okay, structural changes are observed in the for hormonal alla, mainly water transportation ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? And they are elastic, not non-elastic. Okay, so this is an important question over here. The next one, the formation of interfascicular cambium from the parenchyma cells is an example for redifferentiation, differentiation, all of the above. It is a dedifferentiation. Formation of interfascicular cambium from the what we can say parenchyma cells. It is called as a dedifferentiation anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Yes. Now, the cells from the root apical meristems are pushed away to the periphery to become epidermis, root cap, cortex, none of the above. Okay, so they have said that during the cell division ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಟಿಪ್ ಇಂದ ಇರೋಂಥ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪುಶ್ಡ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಪೆರಿಫೆರಿ, ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ರೂಟ್ ಯಾವುದು ಔಟರ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಪಿಡರ್ಮಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಸ್ epidermis. Fifth question is epidermis. So this is an example. Of course, I did not mention over here, but go through the textbook content, you will look into it. Now, in a plant cells, the extension growth is mainly mediated by cell wall, plasma membrane, vacuole, turgidity. The answer is turgidity. We have discussed this. Which of the following statement is not true? Water provides the medium for enzymatic reactions. Deviations from the optimal temperature range, sorry, not range, it is range, is not detrimental to plants. Oxygen helps in release of metabolic energy. Light growth affects the growth. Yes, C is correct, D is correct, and also the A is correct, but not true ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. We know that optimal temperature ಬೇಕೇ ಬೇಕು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಗೆ ಡೆಟ್ರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲು, not detrimental ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So hence we can say B is the right answer, that is it is the wrong statement. Right, now the growth by cell enlargement mainly requires a temperature, light, oxygen, water. Turgidity ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು, water ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, hence D is your right answer. Ninth question we are having. The measurement and comparison of total growth per unit time is measurement and comparison of total growth per unit time ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ಮೀನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್, ಜಿಯೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಯುವರ್ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ಸೊ ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. Now, growth of a system per unit time is relative growth, absolute growth, mean growth, or geometric growth. It is mainly relative growth. Okay, A is your right answer. Now, heterophyly mainly refers to different forms of flower, different forms of stems, different forms of fruits and seeds, different forms of leaves. It is different forms of leaves, coriander, cotton, and also larkspur. Now, here we are having an example question over here. That is, a plant root grows from 5 centimeter to 19 centimeter in a week, and calculate the absolute and relative growth rates. Okay, so they have given that in 7 days 5 centimeter ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ 19 centimeter ಆಗಿದೆ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ 19 minus 5 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಬಂತು, 14 ಬಂತು, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ 14 ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಯುವರ್ absolute growth rate ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ now if you divide what we can say 14 by 5, okay, you get estapa idu, yeah, around 2 yeah, it is 3, no not 3, it is 2, yeah, 2.6, yeah, so 2.6, okay, no, let me use the calculator for this. Yeah, it is 2.8. okay, it is 2.8, right. So here based on this what we can say from 5 to 19 centimeter growth ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 19 ಒಳಗಡೆ 5 ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಿರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ 14 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So you can see that A and B options are containing 14 centimeters. So your answer should be between A and B, and if you divide it you get 2.8 as your answer. That is will be your relative growth rate ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, so remember the formula for the relative growths. Okay, so it is total growth divided by your what we can say initial growth. Now this gives us RGR, relative growth rate, right. So hence A is your right answer. 12th one, A is your right answer. Now, which of the following is an equation for your arithmetic growth? Okay, LT is equal to L0 minus RT, L0 is equal to LT plus RT, LT is equal to L0 plus minus of RT, and LT is equal to L0 plus RT. The answer is D. D is your right equation for the arithmetic growth. Right? It's an easy question. The next one. If the cells divide, the daughter cells retain the capacity to divide. Okay? Such kind of growth is referred as arithmetic growth, geometric growth, lagging growth, none of the above. It is a geometric growth. Okay? ನಮಗೆ ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಡಾಟರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲು ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ರಿಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is an example for geometric growth. So B is your right answer over here. Now, 15th question. The type of graph we get when we plot the length of the route against time is what? Linear, sigmoid, hyperbolic, elliptical. The answer is linear. Okay, route ನೀವು ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ linear. The next one. The type of growth curve that is more characteristic of organisms found in the natural environment. Sigmoid, linear, hyperbolic, parabolic. It is sigmoid. Okay, ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬೆಳೀತಿರ್ತವೆ ಅದರದ್ದು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾಯ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಎಸ್ ಶೇಪ್ಡ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It is S shaped curve, right? Yes, remember this. The next question. The ability of the plant to make new material is called as a linear growth index, absolute growth index, efficiency index, and relative growth rate. It is mainly the it is efficiency index. The ability to make a new material, plant material, is called as the efficiency index. C is your right answer. Increased growth rate per unit time is called as growth index, growth rate, growth efficiency, or absolute growth. Increased growth per unit time, it means it is mainly your growth rates. Now here we are having a diagram based questions. From the given diagram, identify your A and B. Okay, so here the dark blue mainly indicates A and the light blue mainly indicates your B, right? So A is mainly the cell have division capacity, B cells also have the cell division capacity, and A is equal to cell lose the cell division capacity, and B cells lose the cell division capacity, and A cell is equal to the A having a cell division capacity and B cells lose the cell division capacity. D option is A cells mainly lose the cell division capacity and B cells have the cell division capacity. So you know that A cells from the diagram, these cells retain the cell division capacity and these cells lose the cell division capacity, right? So hence your C is the right answer. That is the A cells have the division capacity and the B cells lose the cell division capacity. Now 20th question. The increased vacuolation, cell enlargement, and a new cell wall deposition is a characteristic of the cells that are in dash phase: elongation phase, maturation phase, meristematic phase, none of the above. We know increased vacuolation, cell enlargement, and new cell wall deposition, secondary growth. Okay, secondary cell wall, it is mainly elongation phase nalli irtave cells. So A is your right answer. The next question. In the root, apex has a cells in phase of elongation, phase of maturation, phase of meristematic growth, phase of senescence. It is phase of meristematic growth. Tip nalli irode yavulu meristematic cells irtade, root apex, shoot apex nalli. The next we are having, which of the following is not a characters of cells that are in the meristematic zone? Large protoplasm, large nuclei, abundant plasmid-rest metal connection, and a thick secondary cell wall. No. Thin irtade cell wall. So D is your not characteristic of cells in the meristematic zone, right? So D is the right answer over here. Moving on, we are having 23rd question. The type of growth where the new cells are constantly added to the plant body is called as a closed type of growth, open type of growth, mixed type of growth, partial open type of growth. It is completely open type of growth. Hence it is B is your right answer. 24th. It's a direct question. The number of cells that maize root apical meristem can add is 15,000, 17,000, 18,500, 70,500. So we remember it is mainly 17,500, right? It's a direct easy question. ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ತರ ನಂಬರ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, ಕೇಳಬಾರ್ದಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, right? So this mainly completes some of your questions on the part that we have discussed. So in the next class we will discuss the remaining part of this particular chapter. So till then you can solve more and more questions, right? So we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.